Hello guys, welcome to a Trading Parrot. It's been a while. I don't do market close update, market open update, and I know I keep saying that, but it's very difficult to keep doing that on a daily basis. But since I keep getting comments of people that have been subscribed for a long time in the channel, I'm gonna continue to do that and try to keep it in less than 10 minutes. No editing in the video. Possibly some days it's gonna be from my phone, just to look at the charts, at the order book, and see how things are progressing. And I think today there's an all-time high, so it's a great excuse actually to do this exercise and see how healthy is currently the move. And as you can see, as I promised, I have changed the Bitcoin status background color of the 4-hour and the daily. Now they are both in the neutral, and I'm gonna explain in just a bit why I'm doing those changes. We have a new higher high on the 4-hour. We needed an RSI higher as well to prevent bearish divergence, and that is currently done, so that's good. The retest of the breakout is confirmed, and now the momentum has a new high, so that's great on the 4-hour. On the daily, we are still in the second revenge rally. We move with the RSI into 77. I'll show you that. The hash ribbon is still in capitulation. We are potentially confirming a daily bull cross, which is extremely bullish to have in a bull market. Of course, it's not below the zero line, but still could signal some additional continuation. So let's go into the 4-hour and let's see what's going on with the price action. We broke out from the bear flag. We managed to get into an all-time high of 109.9. Some people are saying that's not an all-time high. Well, depends on which exchange. If you're on Coinbase, if you're on spot, on futures. This is Binance Spot, and it's an all-time high, and on perpetuals as well. That's the largest exchange, so you're gonna have to average down. We can also see that on the 4-hour, we managed to pinch that resistance of 68. We managed to put that's a higher high on the RSI, so I got what I wanted. And thanks to that, we can see that the next candle is retesting the breakout. So we got a healthy move in here to the upside, very well defended. Although people are gonna say, well, you came back below it. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. After a move like this, usually you retest the ascending trend line, and that's precisely what we are doing. I would like to see defending 107, or if we come back very quickly into this fair value gap around the 105, although many people I know are wanting to enter at 105 and take advantage of the trend. Well, we haven't had any pullback in except for this one that is just 3%, and nothing with a 10% or a 15%, and to me that it's a little bit spooky. And I've been hinting earlier in the earlier video that I suspect that something is manipulating really the price. You tell me a pump is a pump, I understand, but this sideways, there is literally no option to re-enter, and you can see in the order book how they are acting to defend the uptrend to get into the all-time high. So I smell something burnt in terms of eventually getting a pullback, but don't listen to me. If you want to enter on your long at 105, that's on you. This is just my opinion. If I enter on a long and I did something like that and I took advantage of the trend, I'm not gonna do it in this state like this, because at that point, obviously, in my opinion, that is where there is the highest risk. We just broke out, we are retesting. Any failure can have a decent pullback, so you do what you have to do. On the daily, you can see that we broke out 3 days defending the top of the range from the top, and now we went for the target. What was the target? I talk about RSI 77, and I think we probably went into 76. That is at the moment at 109.959, and you can see that we couldn't touch 110. That number was the magic number of the day, because we had at that precise level a very big selling wall that earlier was larger. I think it was over 100 million, and the purple whales insisted to slam it, but it hasn't been pierced. The price stopped precisely below that. At the moment, we are seeing a little bit of a second potential attempt to break it, but it's quite heavy. It's 119. We don't know. No one knows if they're gonna pull out right before impact. It could be just manipulative, price suppression, whatever you want to call it, but it's still there. At the moment, we see the CVD increasing. Those are aggressive buyers during this move up, so they might get away with getting there, although the bid versus ask ratio, or also known as the order book depth, is at the moment very flat. So there is a battle, and on high block capital is showing at 0.04, so that's showing that that level at the top it's slightly outweighing the orders that are on the lower end. But of course, anything in the order book can be moved at last minute. Let's have a look as well at the general markets, and because I noticed that we had quite poor performance today, you can see here we are all in the red except for just Google. I don't know what happened there. I couldn't pay attention to the news on stock markets, but that is because precisely at the weekly resistance of 58 on the S&P and at the resistance of 59 on the Nasdaq, those are more or less the equivalent, is the weekly RSI resistance that is playing out there, hidden under the carpet. No one is seeing it because people are looking at the price and they're saying, why are we stopping there? Well, that's the momentum. If we go beyond that 58, we get a breakout, we surpass the previous levels of momentum, and that could be big. There's loads going on with the gold, the dollar rejection in here, although the breakout is still healthy, we still have a higher low, so this could carry on going higher on the dollar. I think if we get there a higher low on the price as well, we can reclaim the 100 mark once again. It shouldn't be that difficult unless something big changes in the macroeconomy. Gold and Bitcoin, people are calling them out like the two brothers, the elder and the younger one, that now seem to be kind of the safe haven that people are using. Let's look at fair value gaps. We got the same. We didn't take a single one. So there's tons of imbalances to have fun possibly for June. We could say that is already incoming. And I just want to remind you that we have that 92.5. That is kind of the dream of the shorts at the moment. If you want, we could still go now to this heavier level that is appearing there. It wasn't there. 114 is starting to appear, and you can see that I mentioned the 110 from that order that hasn't been filled yet, together with this vacuum that we have at 110 if we remove the 3x on the longer term liquidity pools. That's why we stop here. That is not the ultimate stop. It might not hold the price for very long, considering that we have this award for the market maker. I'm sure that they have some idea of what to do about it, but yeah, it's kind of jumping into a bridge. There's not enough oil in between these two levels, and we'll see how we get there. On the short term, I don't see much liquidity left. We really need to make a jump into that 114 that is already appearing in the other competitor of liquidity pools. And the 100K is still there in the short term, and that is kind of the one sort of reward that we could potentially get, obviously way high likelier than going to 92.5, which is now pretty far from the price. Let's see if I'm missing anything. We are in grid 70, surprisingly. All-time high with grid 70. Shouldn't we have something like a 96 or 95? Well, those are the typical levels that I pretty much force myself to look for exits from the market, but seeing it just at 70 is reflecting literally what's going on in here with retail, that it hasn't woken up. We'll see if by tomorrow maybe we see a spike in interest in Bitcoin, because if market maker was the one involved in getting Bitcoin to put the all-time high as an advertising campaign to slap in the face retail, hey, wake up, you have to buy your bags, come on. And they're pushing the price higher, and so far it's not really doing a great job in terms of bringing retail to buy the rally, so that the long-term holders have someone to dump their coins into. We'll see about that. I hope you appreciate the late update, and if you do, if you hit the like, if you keep writing comments on these short updates, I'm gonna do it every morning, every evening, just to do precisely what I did today. How long was it? Oh, 10 minutes. I need to go then. Bye bye.